Hey Dog Pros, Josh from Digi Woof here, and welcome back. In this video, we're going to be going over setting up your calendars. So inside of Clicks, I am on Calendars. I am then going to go up to Calendar Settings. So once we are in Calendars, we can then see all of the calendars that we have, and then we also have a label for groups here as well. Our groups allow us to put calendars together on a single group page. So for example, if you wanted to create a puppy group where you could have all of your puppy class calendars on it, you could do that. Or let's say you wanted to instead do something where you put a trainer A group where it was all of trainer A's calendars, or however you want to organize really. So now on calendars, we're going to go through and actually create a calendar together. So I am going to create calendar. We have the option of simple calendar that is not assigned to a particular user. We then have round robin, where this will assign to a particular user. So if you're a solo dog trainer, then this will just assign all appointments to you. If you have staff members, you'll probably want to use round robin and then assign your different staff members to different types of calendars. We then have class bookings for our different classes that we might be holding. And then we have collective booking. This is where we want several of our team members in on a appointment. So let's say you are a veterinary behaviorist where you want your trainer on as well as yourself. Then this will cross-reference for both you and your staff member. In this case, we're going to go with a round robin. And so let's use this as a discovery call calendar, for example. So I'm going to name it discovery call. I'm then going to assign myself. If you have any other staff members who might be doing this, you can assign multiple people to this and then decide if you want it to schedule for availability or do true round robin where it is just going in a order, basically. So now we can put a custom URL. I typically embed my calendars on my website, or I put them on a funnel page, which we have trainings on. So in most cases, this URL won't matter if you're putting it elsewhere, but if you are sending someone this direct calendar link, then you will want to consider this. So let's say our discovery calls are 20 minutes. And then let's say I only like to do my discovery calls on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. I am then going to confirm, and actually I do need to just put in some random characters. We then have our calendar here. So then we can see that this is the one I've created today. I am going to edit it. When we go in to edit our calendars, we actually have a lot more customization that we'll want to do. So we can see I can add my logo to the calendar. I can give it a description. I can add it to a group if I need to. And then I can change the meeting invite title. So this is what it will show up on my calendar and the client's calendar. And so then I can see that I can add additional team members. I can set a location. So if you're just doing a phone call, you're probably going to say, we'll call you. If you're going to be doing a Zoom call, then you can put a recurring link, or you can connect to Zoom, which will allow you to create a new link every time. And so you can also see we can do phone, where that will pull your business phone number, or we can do address, where we can put our physical address. You can also change this to the client's address. So if we were to go find our short code for a contact address, so in custom fields, address, and put that in here, that will then populate the client's address for this particular calendar. Now I can set a color for it. I'm then going to save and go to availability, where we can then see that I can set my availability per day. So maybe Mondays, I only do it 8 to 10 a.m. And then Wednesdays, I might do it from, let's say, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. And then Fridays is a little bit wider. I can set this to all, or I can do different time blocks too. So maybe 8 to 10, 12 to 1, 3 to 5, etc. Now I am going to scroll down and set the meeting interval. This means how often can someone schedule within our availability. So if it is set at 30 minutes, that would mean someone would be able to schedule at 5, 5:30, 6, 6:30. If I have it at 5 minutes, then the interval would be 5, 5:05, 5:10, 5:15, 5:20, etc., etc. We have a meeting duration of how long is the meeting. We then have a minimum scheduling notice so that we are not caught off guard. We then have date range, which is how far into the future do we want to show our availability. We can then list how many of this particular kind of booking we want to do maximum per day. So I don't like doing a bunch of discovery calls in a day, so maybe I set this to 3. And then this is a one-on-one thing, so we're just going to set it to 1. A buffer is to make sure we have travel time, or to make sure that we have time in between calls to take a break. So I might put 15 minutes for this. And if we save and move on, we then have forms and payment. So we can attach a particular form to this calendar to make sure people answer particular questions ahead of this appointment so that I can make sure I prepare ahead of time. And then I can also allow them to add guests. So let's say we want them to be able to notify their spouse about this upcoming appointment. I want to allow add guests then. As far as confirmation page, if you're sending them this direct calendar link, then you do want to consider what you put here. If you're doing this on a funnel page or on your website, then we can set that otherwise. If we scroll down, I do not have payment connected to this particular account, but if I did, we would also see an option to allow payment on the calendar. We then move on to notifications. So we can send an acknowledgement email. And I typically like to not have this on just because we can create these inside of our automations too that are a lot more personal. So inside of our automations, which we will get into more detail on, we can set a confirmation email and then reminders based on how far out from the appointment we are. If we were to add this as well, that is going to double up on the emails that we send. And then finally, in customizations, we can allow cancellations or rescheduling. And we typically do want to have the new calendar widget style. And if this is the kind of calendar where you want to allow clients to determine who they talk to, you can also allow staff selection on during booking too. So that is a basic calendar setup. So in this example, we did go over just a discovery call. Now, if we were to look at class calendars, for example, I would recommend going into the Clicks Academy and looking for our creating class scheduling inside of Clicks course. That will go in detail over those particular settings and teach you how to set up homework emails and a bunch of other stuff that you're probably doing manually in your classes. As far as your private training calendars, these are probably going to be different calendars than your discovery call calendar because one, a discovery call is 20 minutes, whereas a training session is maybe an hour. Then you might also have an initial consultation calendar that might be 90 minutes, which is charged differently. If there are any variables that might not be consistent, you will want to create a different calendar. So whether that is the length of the appointment, the availability of the appointment, the cost, or even the onboarding that you're having them do. And in the next video, we're going to go over selecting a Clicks phone number so you can start texting your clients and automating your phone line.